In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire.
Now that I got the body on the frame, it's time to start notching out the body so it goes over the frame so I can get a body drop out of it.
Baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Yesterday, and I also, to get it down low like this, I notched out a section of this body here, cut this up about a foot. That way when you spread it, instead of dispersing the spreading over this one little area, which you would do if you only cut up to here, it disperses the spread evenly over this whole section so you can't tell that it's such a drastic change. Before I tried doing it just down here and it was too much of a overlap and it just didn't look right, because originally this body sat on top of the frame, so it didn't actually go around the frame, so it sat like ½ an inch in on each side. But now I got this in there nice gradual change. I'll patch that up, you won't even be able to tell. And then I kind of threw in the exhaust yesterday kind of to show you what it looked like temporarily until I get a different turbo set up anyways. Got the firewall about ½ an inch between the bolts here and this, just because I don't want any squeaking. And then I ended up shortening this frame section so that this whole frame would fit inside the body, right? Because before, the frame rails used to come out like this far and sit out here, and it just looks ugly, I think. So I shortened this section, shortened this in here, but I lengthened this up here, so it kind of makes up for it. If that makes sense. Lengthen the frame in front of the end, or in front of the cowl, so that I have more room for the engine and all that stuff. So now you can see that I moved the bracing and I started to work on this door here. Just kind of got it set in there. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do the hinges yet. It's just going to be kind of a pain in the butt because if you can look on that, if you see on that side, really none of the original wood is there on the hinge post or anything like that, so I'm gonna have to make new stuff, something new out of steel. That's gonna be fun. And then I'm gonna use 1-inch tubes, 1-inch square tubes for like body mount stuff. So what I'll do is I'll take some of these and I'll make plates that weld onto the side of the body to disperse the weight. So say like a 8x8 piece of 16 gauge, weld them onto the body and then lay them across the frame to the other side or something of that sort. Either that, or I might build a whole inner structure around here for support out of tubing, and then weld the body mounts or the body cross members to the supports. I haven't really decided on that yet, but that's how that's going. It's pretty nice. Lays rocker on the ground, which is exactly what I wanted. Has a good look to it. Got some tires sitting there just for kind of show you, but they're going to be 2-inch taller tires out back, and then this is about the size tire up front. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate all the comments and likes. This video series is going well. You guys are really keeping up with it, and I appreciate that. There'll be videos posted every week, like I said, every Wednesday, of new progress and stuff like that, so make sure not to miss any, and thanks for watching.
Why do you got those welded in there?
Huh?
Why do you got those bars welded in?
What bars?
The ones you're fucking climbing over all
Oh, to
over.
keep your body square. Because there's no floor or nothing. Plus when I did the chop, there was no floor and there's no roof on it, so like, could have gone any which way.
Okay.
So these have been on for a while.
Why does this not work? You're going to it'll be too low.
No, I need different rear end. This rear end ain't gonna work.
Why?
Because it'll just fucking blow up right away. I didn't know that until I was told.
Why will it blow up?
Because it's not made for hauling shit. It'll just like, this would be fine for the power.
Can't you just put new shit inside of it?
No, the axles are too small.
Oh, okay.
And the bearings wouldn't be able to take the weight that I want to put on it. So, and it's not quite wide enough, so I'd have to get like custom wheels and shit. See how it barely sticks out past the body?
Yeah.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. So that was my bad. Because I measured, when I was originally planning this, I measured the inner wheel wells right here. Right, so if you look, that looks like it's right on the outside with like space if you have the wheels in the wheel well, right?
Uh-huh.
But this whole body's gonna be on the ground, so my wheels are gonna be up to here. So like I didn't think about that when I measured it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stupid fucking mistake. That's like such a rookie mistake.
Well, you probably won't do it again.
Yeah, you're damn fucking right. So when I got my rear end, I made a little bit of a boo-boo. As I mentioned in the previous little clip, that other rear end that I got was too narrow because I measured the inside of measured the tubs instead of the outside of the body, right? So I went and I got this Dana 70 rear end out of a 2001 Ford. They're the same from 99 to 11. This one's a hell of a lot bigger, so you can tell. Took up the whole box with the S10 here. Got the disc brakes. 355 carrier, full float. This thing's heavy too, so yeah, it'll work though. The fucking heavy ass rear end. All about them dogs. I had to cut off all those brackets that I put on there. They're all welded solid, so I had to cut them all off, and now I'm gonna have to modify them to work on this big boy here. So I'll spend the whole day today probably cleaning this up. Yeah, you can see how excited I am. Woohoo, woohoo. To redo my work. I hate doing that, but that's what I gotta do now to save work later. So I'll just cut off all these stupid brackets today. Get them all out of my way. Take off these brake calipers and all that. I'm also gonna have to end up rotating this brake caliper down to the bottom side so that I don't have to tub out as much here. I'll kind of show you what I mean when I get to that point. So I had a couple buddies come over and help me take this body off the frame again. And we got this big rear end under the car, and I got it centered about where it needs to be. So I measured from the same location on each side, say here, and then up across to the corner of the frame up there, and then did the same on the other side, and adjusted this till it's about right. I'll have to do some more measurements to perfect it, but this is about how it's gonna sit here. But with this Ford rear end, you can see that the yoke is actually offset about probably 1.5 to 2 inches. So this whole thing, so that means this side is shorter than this side, right? You can tell just by looking at it. Well, my bag mounts were welded in here for that other rear end, right? And now you can see that this is gonna be in my way. So what I'm gonna have to do, instead of electing to cut these all out and then try and move them over, and then get them as close to this frame as I can without them rubbing here, and I'd still probably have to trim some of this. I've elected to just trim a lot of this off. To me, this stuff just looks overrated as hell, or overdone as hell. This rear end is so damn heavy in the first place. So I'm just gonna cut some of that out, trim it down like this, get a little extra clearance, and then you can see on this side there's no issue. I got this set so that my tires are at 31-inch height. So theoretically I could run a smaller tire and drop the rear end down and turning the frame down, but I want to run at least a 30 to 31-inch tire. So that's that. I got a couple little things to cut out. And I'll have to make custom bag mounts for all this. And it should be a good time. This old propane tank here that I'm gonna convert it into an air tank for the rat rod. And what I'm doing to ensure that this is empty, I got it for free, so I wasn't sure if it was empty or not. What I did was I opened the valve, let it sit outside for about 20 minutes, open standing up, right? And then I opened the valve all the way and tipped it up, and you can see this little yellow fragrance shit that they put in there. It's kind of like a liquid. So once I turned it upside down and that stuff came out, I knew that all the air was out of it because this is heavier than the propane would be, this liquid form stuff. So once that came out, now I can take this up and fill it with water and soap and try and clean the most of that shit out of there. It's kind of always going to have that smell, but I'm trying to get rid of most of it because I don't want to smell that when I'm opening my valves and whatnot. Cool free alternative though. Has nice patina, it'll work out good. So right now you can see that I got that tank strapped to a tree. I've seen some people try and do it with a 2x4 and then hold the 2x4. Well, that doesn't make sense, just make the tree do the hard work for you. So now I got it strapped with the ratchet strap. What I do is take this big wrench, break it loose. Cap off and the nozzle off or whatever. Now I'm gonna fill it up with water and try and slosh it around and clean it out a little bit. Shit stinks, man. Now I got this tank all nice and clean, you can see. Cut off the end of it, the stand where it's used to stand up. Keep that around, maybe I'll think of some cool use for it on this car. So now it's all cleaned up. I had my buddy Jimmy come over for to machine apart the threads in the end for like a distribution block for this thing. It's gonna be pretty neat and it'll work good. McFree, can't beat that either. Today I got a couple of cool parts from my machinist that I designed out. This started as a 4 3/4 inch aluminum solid stock. Now, basically what he did, you can see where he kind of cut this up, cut off an inch section of it, okay, and then he took the inside of this and hollowed it. So this has a like a 3 by 3 inch pocket inside of it. And then on the top here, there's 1/2 inch MPT fittings, and on the side here there's MPT fittings, 1/2 inch. So how this works, has this big 1 inch MPT fitting here, which threads onto the tank, like so. Okay, so it threads on there like so. Now I can take my valves and I can mount them like so. Okay, I'll have 4 of them here, so they'll be in like a round shape. This will help keep everything clean, and then I'll design a custom cover that goes over the top of it, that goes over all of this, and it's gonna be kind of a cool little secret that I'm doing, a cool little addition that I just kind of thought up, so you guys have to wait and see what that is. And the way I designed this was, if you look here, it's gonna be 4 valves on each one of these, right? This is another piece, this is for my exhaust. Okay, so there's gonna be 4 valves, right? If you look here like this, these normally thread on like this, right? Well, you're thinking, how is the next one gonna thread on after you get this one threaded? Well, the way I'm gonna do it, the way I designed it to do is so I could have this as small as possible. I'm actually gonna take these push to connect fittings like so. All you do is you take your DOT brake line and they push in and then it's securely locked in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 4 of these fittings, put them all into this block here, which it has hollow all the way through points. Okay, and then I'll cut my line about 1 inch long or as short as I can get it, so that the height is as short as I can get it total. Okay, and then I'll take the same 1/2 inch fitting, so pretend I take this one out of here, or pretend I have another one that threads into this side with the same push to connect, and then you can just slide this right onto the hose and it's secured, so you don't have to worry about any kind of twisting of this. You don't have to worry about clearancing. The only thing you have to worry about clearancing is enough for a wrench to fit in here to turn these and tighten them. So that's a good idea, and I'll have these put in a circular pattern, so like this, and then like this, like this. Okay, so I'll have my 4 valves coming out like this on this tank, and then you see these holes on the side here. These are auxiliary ports for air lines. So one is going to be my in from my air compressor, one is going to be my train horn, and one will be maybe air brakes or something else. So I have these auxiliary ports, and I have these drilled in between. Okay, so if you look at this thing, you see it's like this. Well, these other things, these side ports are drilled in between on this piece over here on the tank. So that way you have this hose coming out here, another hose here, another hose here, they're all the same. So you have enough space for all your hoses to come through. And then here, this is the exhaust manifold. So I'm gonna have 4 push to connect fittings on this side. I'll run my hoses from my valves. Pretend this is like, say, over here. I'll run the valves right here, and then the hoses. And then there'll be a T that goes to my block here, mounts into here, and the exhaust valve will be mounted on the other side of this. Okay, it's kind of hard to picture, but that's basically how it works. And then there's an 1/8 inch MPT port in here to give me my air pressure, because this will always have air in it. If these valves are open, we'll send air into this, and it's kind of complicated, but it works. So I'll show you guys how I assemble all this, either in this video or in the next video. And kind of cool. Thanks Jimmy Zukowska for helping me out with that.